I'm going to preview and predict the number one seed Indiana at number 10 seed Miami, Florida football game, which obviously is a week from today, January 19th, 6:30 p.m. Central Time on ESPN. I apologize for looking down because I cannot memorize all this stuff. Indiana is favored as of right now at 8.5. It originally opened at 7.5. Obviously, Indiana is 15-0, 9-0 in the Big Ten, while Miami's 13-2 overall, 6-2 in the ACC. Yeah, they were technically the last team in to make the college football playoff. What a run by them. And the only losses were against SMU on the road, and I actually picked that game to be a loss for Miami, Florida. Go back and watch that video. And then Louisville, and I actually picked Miami, Florida to win that game, but they lost anyway. Yeah, the only other game I picked them against, besides the CFP, was against Notre Dame. Just being honest, but that was game number 1 in a pick'em. So it's not like I'm 0-4 against Miami, Florida when picking against them, because I actually picked them against them like one time. And obviously, I've been wrong about them in the CFP, but this is a different challenge, to say the least. And I'm calling this at Miami, Florida for this game because, let's be real, the game is not a neutral site game. Miami, Florida is the home team because they are playing in their home stadium that they opened the season in at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens, Florida. What's on the line? Indiana it's simple. They're looking for their first national title in this sport. Miami, Florida is looking for their 6th national title, and the first one since 2001. And I will go over the stats for both of these teams, both offensively and defensively. Go over a little bit about special teams because those special teams does matter. Ask Oregon on why part of the reason why they trail that big to begin with against Indiana. I'm just saying. And I know I did pick against Indiana against Oregon the first time, but the only other time I picked them against them was in a Big Ten title game against Ohio State, and I was even a pick them right there too. And so yeah, I'll start with Miami, Florida first, since they're the lower seed. They do have 333 first downs on a year, 254 allowed. Now, in terms of passing yards per game, 254.6 while allowing 206.1. Rushing yards, 154.6, 86.5 allowed. Now, time possession, like this is in hours and minutes and seconds, so I can't recalibrate all that on top of my head. That's why I'm going to go with 8 hours, 25 minutes, 35 seconds, while allowing 6 hours, 34 minutes, 25 seconds. Now, third down conversion, like 47.1 for the offense on 187 attempts, 30.8 by the opposing team on 195 attempts. Now, fourth down, 68.2% by the offense on 22 attempts, 48.1% on 27 attempts for the opposing team. So I'm just want to go over that real fast. And obviously, like for the most commonly used punter, 49 punts for 2,164 yards. 12 of those went over 50 yards. 21 of those landed inside the 20-yard line, which is huge at times because of field position battle. Now, 17 for 23 on field goals for the most commonly used kicker. Now, they do have 96 tackles for loss. Really great number while only allowing 57. Now, 47 sacks on the year, 19 allowed. 16 interceptions by the defense, 11 by the other team. 56 pass breakups allowed, 56 by the defense, 44 allowed. 45 quarterback hurries by the defense, they only allowed 12. 9 fumble recoveries, and 3 allowed. Now, now I'm going to say this about Miami. You proved me wrong about last game. I literally said to Ole Miss, make Carson Beck beat you through the air, and he did. And they couldn't stop the run even. So there's that. Now Indiana, they do average 42.6 points per game while allowing 11.1. And by the way, Miami, Florida, in terms of the points per game, 31.6 by the offense, 14 allowed by the defense. Just to go over that real fast before going over the Indiana stats here. Now, it's 360 first downs by the offense, 196 allowed by the defense, 218.3 rushing yards per game while allowing 75, 242.7 passing yards per game while allowing 185.9. Now, time possession, 33 minutes, 17 seconds by the offense, 26 minutes, 42 seconds allowed by the defense. 58% on third down on 184 attempts, 30% on third down by the opposing team on 195 attempts. Now, the 8 for 16 on fourth down and 48% on 27 attempts. Might as well go over special teams real fast. Most commonly used punter, 32 punts for 1,300 yards exactly. 2 of those went over 50 yards, 13 of those landed inside the 20-yard line. Now, the most commonly used kicker, 16 for 17 on field goals. Just want to go over that real fast. And y'all could just check the distances from here. Now, Indiana's tackles for loss is unreal. 128. They only allowed 60. 45 sacks. 22 allowed. 18 interceptions. 7 of those allowed. 47 pass breakups. 39 allowed. 34 quarterback hurries. Allowed 29. 11 fumble recoveries. 1 allowed. And they blocked 3 kicks this year, and they did get safety on once. And one thing I'm going to say across the board, you got to do this for your seniors. This is the last game, after all, in your career. You don't, and same thing goes for those, what if I'm going to the NFL draft type of players? After their third year of college, whether it's a redshirt sophomore or a redshirt junior or straight up junior year. Because that's the case for those players that could go to the draft if they really want to. You got to do this for them. Give out max effort. You got to make adjustments on the fly, both offensively and defensively. You got to keep your calm and composure. Certainly, you do not want an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. And you got to limit penalties across the board, because sometimes that could really cost you games. Ask Ole Miss at times during that last possession on defense. Yeah, and another thing I want to say before going over the special teams is you got to try to get your fans involved in the game while taking away the opposing fans through your play. Now, special teams wise, you got to be solid. Because, look, Indiana blocked a punt last game. Remember that. And I set up an easy touchdown. Yeah. You got, don't want to allow big kickoff returns, punt returns, block field goals, block extra points, block punts. And gotta be ready for a trick, in case they do trick you by faking a punt or faking a field goal. And I know Kurt Cinetti, was ready for Alabama to go for it, in that game, and then he gave that meme stare right across the way. It's we're not flinching. You get the point, though. Now, defensively, this is going to be the challenge for Indiana. The challenge for Indiana is simple. You got to stop the run better than Ole Miss did. You got to. And the same thing goes for, against Ohio State and Texas A&M. I believe this is the best defense that Miami, Florida has seen in all the playoffs. I really do. Look, the numbers don't lie. And yes, Carson Beck did beat them through the air last game against Ole Miss. He did. But you got to limit the yards after catch in general across the board for both these teams. So limit yards after catch, yards after contact. You got to be good on third down and fourth down defense in case they do go for it. Especially if it's in a tight late game situation when it's close. You got to be good in the red zone because there's a difference between field goals and field goals and touchdowns. Or if you turn the ball over, you don't want to turn the ball over right there and then get no points. And you got to limit the points off turnovers as much as you can because that could be a difference in the game. Just ask Oregon. They gave up 21 points off turnovers early on. And they were essentially out of the game against Indiana. And I expect Indiana does need to work on their defense some because of the last performance, but I think part of it's like garbage time. The game was not really out of danger for them, honestly. And you guys shut down the best wide receivers and tight ends as much as you can through in a passing game and honestly stop the run. You got to be very mindful of these quarterbacks running the ball too. So you might have to do a quarterback spy at times. Now, on offense, you got to get ahead of the chains. You got to get some balance. And look, Miami, Florida, you did a great job last game passing the ball. But this is a different animal in Indiana. I'm sorry. No offense to the prior 3 games or maybe all the other games all year. Indiana's defense is for real. And I know they got exposed last game. I know they did. But that's garbage time stuff. And I know Kurt Cinetti's not happy with that. I'm pretty sure he's not. You got to have some type of passing game in this game. You have no pressure on you. You got to have the run game going. And obviously, Indiana's passing game is really good with the Heisman quarterback. But it's the run game that's really good too. So if you take one away, they got the other. So having some type of balance would really help for both of these teams. You got to be good on third down and fourth down offense in case you do go for it. You got to be good in the red zone. You got to be taking care of the ball. You got to have your pass catcher step up, your offensive line to step up, both run blocking and pass blocking. And even tight ends as a pass block if they do pass block. Obviously run blocking. You get the wide receivers on the blocking as well. So you get the whole picture. What I'm about to say about this game. With that being said, I cannot go against the grain. I'm taking Indiana to win. Yes, I know I have picked against Miami, Florida all playoff long. And if you go back to the regular season, 4 straight games. But Indiana is the best team they have seen up to this date. No offense to Ohio State. Indiana's on a whole different level. And another thing across the board, you got to win the trenches. Because that could be a difference in the game sometimes. So, you get the point. I'm going with Indiana to win. It's more like the margin to me. And this is like an Indiana team that I believe is just as good as that 2019 LSU team that won the national title. And it seems like they are the team of destiny. And the crazy thing is, Fernando Mendoza is from Miami, Florida. And obviously, his dad actually played with Mario Cristobal in high school, actually. And obviously, one of the coaches on Miami, Florida staff as well. So this is a little interesting battle. I just think Fernando Mendoza is a better quarterback. Indiana's a better all-around team. They're more consistent. Yes, I know Miami, Florida has done good in the playoffs up to this point. But I cannot pick against Kurt Cinetti right now. So anyways, if you like this content, hit the like, subscribe, and see you guys later on the road to 800 subscribers. Score's ultimate goal. It's 1,000 more for money to score. So like a video. Comment really helps YouTube background. Some more people see it. Sharing the video does help as well. So more people could watch. And if you're watching, And that's hit scrap answer for notification bell as well. And the over-under for this game is 48.5. Just to let y'all know about that number. And I'm not saying take the under or take the over or take Indiana to cover the game. Or Miami, Florida is going to cover the spread and go like only lose by 7. I'm taking Indiana straight up as if there was no spread on the game. I'm taking them to win the national title.